Good morning, Tony Dottino, the founder of the USA Memory Championship, and doing my live with Tony a little bit early this morning, as I've got a busy day today, and the afternoon is fully booked, and I want to miss doing my live with. And I usually am not a post 6 p.m. person, though I sometimes will do things after 6, but I tend to be more of a early day, mid-afternoon person, and then I kind of fade a little bit after that. Let me just go hit a light switch here, get a little more light on this. And so let's hope that helps a little bit and makes me a little bit brighter so you can at least get to see a little bit more of my face. What I want to talk about today has just been interesting, and it's Michael Dottino has been amazing at. As he says, "Dad, I'm not you," but I said, "My God, Michael, I'm glad you're not, and I think what you do is far better," because he's got such a brain that absorbs research and absorbs the pragmatics of teaching people things that they can do to improve their memories. And so he's spent years in researching and developing an online course that is Maximum Memory Mastery. And it's amazing the amount of research and study he's put into that, and what he continues to study and learn that is basically supporting that which he's included into this online course. And one of the things that he learned as he's done the research about memory is memory teachings and skills are very unique to people. And so he comes up with this thing called 3 Ps. And one of his most important Ps is learning how to improve your memory is personal. And what do you mean by that? Well, it's personal to each individual's life experiences, where they've been in their nurturing and their education, their belief systems of whether or not they believe they can improve their memory, what their educational backgrounds have been, and whether or not they've been encouraged and supported, or whether they've struggled and battle their way through their grades in school. And so learning a little bit about a person isn't a psychology exam, but it's more of, who is this person that I'm trying to teach, and how can I tailor the different learning methods and skills to meet where they're at so I can bring them forward. And he's taught me a lot in that world, because up until he began working with people in different schools and professions and jobs, I just get up and you teach this to everybody and everybody learns it. And what he began to learn in his teaching is, hey, Dad, you can't get up and teach 30 people one skill and expect all of them to grab it in the same efficiency and the same speed. Some of them you need to take offline and work with them on a one-on-one, and get them to find what their learning system is. What memory techniques can you teach them? So, for example, numbers have got several different ways of remembering numbers. Every person doesn't take one system and apply it. The same as we've learned to use the deck of cards. Everybody doesn't use the same method for decks of cards. And so in studying mental athletes that have come through the USA Memory Championship for 20 years, he's discovered that they don't all follow. Now, majority may follow a certain system of some force, but when he started to look at some of our higher level performers, he found that they did tweaking. They found their own way of how to deploy the skills of memory systems and use it in a way that made sense to their brain and allowed them to click a whole lot faster and a whole lot more efficiently. So the first thing he's learned is it's got to be personal. And so you got to learn a little bit about the people that you're talking to. So in my audience here, I always say, you've got to learn a little bit about what's best for you. So when I'm telling people to go through the Maximum Memory Mastery class, I say, just scan through the modules that are in that class. Just kind of go tearing through them in a very quick way, scan them, and grab the first one that seems to fit you. And so there's a module number 4 that actually gives an overview of all different memory systems. For some people, it's the best thing to go start there and find a memory system that you seem to, wow, I think I could like this, and go start there, as opposed to going through the modules in the sequential order. Now, a lot of people say, well, that seems kind of crazy. You put the thing together and it's in a sequential order. Shouldn't we follow that sequential order? And one of the things I learned from Tony Buzan when he first taught me how to read, because I don't read a book. I do not read books or articles, newspaper articles. I do not read them in sequential order as they're laid out by the publisher. I don't take this newsletter and start with page 1 and go through and finish it up on page 8. I scan through it first and I look at bringing memory back into focus. Oh, what's stopping you from getting a good night's sleep? Oh, wow. Well, how about reducing back pain? Well, you know what? I'm not interested in that right now, but how about poor sleep may lead to a common cause of blindness? Whoa. So I put the newsletter into a sequence that's personal to me. Now, somebody else may read the first part of this, okay, easy ways to keep inflammation in check, because we're learning more about inflammation cells and blood tests that show us what our inflammation markers are inside the bloodstreams, which we know are leading to a lot of bad things. So I may go back and read that later after I've taken the first 2 or 3 and gelled the essence of what those were saying. So it's personal. That's my whole message here. It's personal. What's best for you? So if you look at the maximum memory mastery, we lay it out in a sequence and fundamentals. We think the first thing people should learn are fundamentals, and there's a whole series of fundamentals. And then how do we blow up myths, things that people believe, one of which is, my goodness, I've only got so much storage capacity in my brain, and therefore, I don't want to use it all up. And I certainly was one that used to believe that. I clearly do not believe that anymore. But so we laid it out in a way that we thought people would migrate to, in a way that was simple to follow. However, in some cases, I tell people as I get to talk with them and coach them, start with module 4. You say, wait a minute, what about 1, 2, 3? You know what? Start with 4 and let that guide you into the sequence that you want to take the online course and put it into the way that your brain is going to work. So the personal part of the P's are crucial. The next one is proven. So you got to have it proven. Do these skills work? I mean, you want me to go practice this? Yeah, I want you to be personal. Practice the ones that have been proven to work. And we've got years and years of experience. We've got plenty of science. We watch people all the time. I study people. We teach and we watch and observe. And so we clearly want them to be proven methods that, look, when we find a specific link in the way your brain is going to work, we want to be able to prove to you that there are other people that have used it and it's worked, and with some tweaking, we'll get it to work for you. So it's important, especially with people who do not believe that they have good memories, or they don't believe they can learn something. So it's proven to the way that we've got years of experience in watching people deploy the skills that we're now teaching them in the maximum memory mastery. But the fact of the matter is we still need to prove it to the person. So we design a lot of our teaching so that people that are on that fence, they're kind of half and half, but we'll give it a try. Well, we want you to give it a try, but we want to get you to see results that prove to yourself that, this really worked. So again, I will often start with the simplest thing for people because I got to prove to them that there's a difference. They can learn something. So we do some benchmarking. There's always benchmarking, meaning we're going to give you a test before training and education in the module, and then we're going to give you a post. So you get to see your own proof. We want you to see your own proof that, yes, there is a difference. I actually did this. Well, guess what? If you did it from 1 to 10, now we're going to take you from 10 to 15, and then from 15 to 20. And we're going to show you that you're going to be able to remember the names and faces of people. You're going to put a string of 20 numbers together. You're going to show yourself a list of comprehension and a reading assignment of 20 key principles that are within what your reading assignments are. We're going to show you how to do all that. And of course, we're going to show you all of those things. And the third P is a pragmatic way, meaning it's got to be pragmatic for you to be able to deploy the methods and the systems and fit them into your schedule. So it's got to be pragmatic, meaning, there's got to be some pragmatism to this that says, this really does make sense. I can really see this as being something I can do, and I believe in this. I can give this a go. And once we've crossed that hurdle with people, where we've proven to them that this is basic and simple, and you'll be able to deploy it and utilize it in your life, comes the next hurdle, right? And the hurdle is, are you going to take the time and put the effort in? I know as I watch TV every night, there are times I don't want to get up off the couch. I'm watching a TV program, but what I do is I make myself get up off the couch, and I have a 20-minute stretching flexibility. Maybe it's 5-pound dumbbells, but I get up off that couch for at least 20 minutes every night, and I do some type of an exercise program. It may be flexibility, it may be a little bit of weight, it may be stretching, but I get off my butt for 20 minutes and I go get it done. And so we ask people, can you spend 10 minutes 3 or 4 nights a week learning? I mean, I always think of Josh Four. When he became a memory champion, they said, how much practice he did? He said, about 20 minutes 3 times a week, and he became a USA memory champion, wrote the book Moonwalking with Einstein. So it's always interesting to me that people think, I got a memory, and they start stressing. Well, it's personal. So do you really want to make a difference? Do you really want to prove to yourself that you can do these things? And you're willing to try some simple methods and start on the simple side and prove to yourself that you're capable of making it work. And it's amazing the results that people get. So check out our memory websites, USA Memory Championship. It's always interesting because there's the testimonials for people that have proven that they can do it. And many of them never thought they could. And yet have the courage to compete in a memory championship. It's just congratulations to the people that have believed in themselves and have proven to themselves that they are capable of doing it. And then they'll look at it and say, oh my God, this is really simple and pragmatic. This is really something I know I can do. And it's made a difference in their lives, in their education, in their professions, and what they were able to achieve in it. All right, I'm off to New York tomorrow, and so we will see you back on Friday from New York. Have a good week.